Welcome back to episode 10 of Project X, where we're taking you on a journey with us to find private label product opportunities, teaching you along the way so that you can build your own business using these same simple methods. Now, in the last episode, what did we go over in the 9?
We went deeply into product research for the purpose of optimization.
Yes, so if you haven't watched that episode, guys, make sure to pause this, go back and look up Project X episode 9. Now, this episode, what are we going to be furthering our discussion on?
Yeah, we're going to take all those keywords, and it was a lot of keywords. Take all those keywords from last episode, and we're going to talk about how to filter those down, compile those down, what to prioritize and deprioritize, and what to put into our listing, the title, the bullet points, the description, the backend. We're also going to talk about some of the other optimization features of a listing, like images and different things like that.
We're also going to give you your first look at our products that have just arrived from China at our 3PL warehouse. So we're going to take a little road trip over there and unbox a couple of them and get those on the way to Amazon. Lastly, Tim is going to talk about some of the terms of service as far as the listing goes. There are do's and don'ts as far as images, as far as how long your bullet points and title can be, what keywords you can and can't use. Tim's going to give you guys a little deep dive into that to make sure that you guys don't get your first Amazon listing suspended. If you'd like a written version of these show notes, make sure to go to www.helium10.com/X10. That's helium10.com/X10. So our question to you before we get started is, as an Amazon buyer, when you're shopping on Amazon, what's most important to you about a listing? Is it the price? Is it the title? What catches your eye first? Or the images? Or some other part of the listing? Maybe the reviews? What's your most important part when you buy things on Amazon?
I'm a little bit lazy sometimes, and the first thing I look at is number of reviews and images, because the image can kind of tell me some of the other information, but everybody works differently. Everybody psychologically purchases differently. That's why we have to be aware of all of these different factors. So make sure to tell us what is most important to you in the show notes below. You can also discuss it with us on the Ask Me Anything, the AMA session that we're going to have live with you this Friday.
All right, so without further ado, let's get started. My name is Bradley Sutton from Helium 10, and this is
Tim Jordan from Private Label Legion.
Welcome to Project X, episode 10. X is 10 in Roman numerals, right?
He's got it.
From Helium 10. All right, there we go. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, where did we leave off on episode 9? We had a bunch of keywords in Frankenstein. We had a bunch of phrases in Scribbles. Let's go back to those windows right now.
And for those of you that left off with our last episode a little bit confused and overwhelmed, I'm right there with you. That's perfectly normal. Don't get discouraged. Don't get overwhelmed. We have tools here that are going to help organize this, and we have strategies to organize this. And we know it was like a little bit strange leaving you at the end of last episode with all of this, not knowing where to go. We can't pack it all into one episode, but now we're going to organize this. It's going to be super clear, and you're going to understand exactly the next steps.
All right, so here we go. We had 1,000 words here, 5,800 characters. Now, we didn't have 1,000 keyword phrases. We probably had about 400 or 500 phrases, but there's actually, Frankenstein is telling us that 1,000 words compose it. Now, I know that there's not 1,000 unique keywords. First of all, look at this. What is this?
Egg. It's everywhere. Almost every line has the word egg.
All right. So I want to first take out all the duplicates. You don't have to do that one by one. We got you covered. I have this thing check marked here. Remove duplicates. I'm just going to process it. Boom. Within 1 second. Now that's crazy. 1,000 words already is down to 112 words. What does this mean? That means for me to potentially be searchable or be indexed for these 1,000 total words, which were from 200, 300, 400 phrases, I only need 112 unique keywords. So some of you guys in the last episode might have been like, there's no way you can put 1,000 words in a listing, 6,000 characters. That's way too much. Guys, duplicates you don't need to do, because again, you don't have to duplicate the keywords in order to be indexed. But some of our important phrases, it actually is suggested that sometimes you do duplicate those phrases, but not for every keyword. One other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off The common words like the, and, I probably figure those keywords are going to be in my listing anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to remove single letters like A or I. I'm sure those will get in there somehow. And so our final list is 107 keywords. To put it into Scribbles, I want Scribbles, our listing optimizer tool, to detect each word individually, not like this is one whole 107 word phrase. So I'm just going to have to put this word by word. So let me copy and paste 107 times. No, I'm just playing. We don't have to do that with Helium 10. I'm going to hit this thing here, one word or phrase per line. Boom goes the dynamite. 107 words. Have you seen that video? That's a YouTube video. Boom goes the dynamite. Anyways, 107 total keywords right here. Guys, it's episode 10. We're getting into this thing here. I'm getting a little delirious, all right? I'm going to copy these keywords, and now we're going to go to Scribbles. All right, so here we're in Scribbles. I still have our list of keywords I want to try to get in our listing if possible. I might not be. There's a lot of phrases there.
Yep.
Usually I go a little bit less, but this one I'm not sure which ones are going to hit, so I'm going to try and hit as many of these as possible. I'm going to paste the rest of the individual words. So here, as you guys can see, I have a complete list of bunch of keywords, individual words, Spanish, English, words I don't even know what they mean. Stackable, I know what that means. Why is it saying stackable is not spelled right? Anyways, I digress. Let's keep going. There's deviled eggs, devict eggs. We looked at that. I'm going to hit apply. Now watch what happens here. It breaks it down between the phrases. I had 26 phrases. That's kind of wishful thinking. I can get all of them.
Those are the ones at the top of the list.
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones I had done first. And then there's 108 individual words. Now, do you know, Tim, you actually don't know this, but I just told it to you a few minutes ago because you were asking about it. What do the colors represent here?
Yeah, and I'll say this. I use Helium 10 a lot. Obviously, I have a good relationship with them, and sometimes they have features that I didn't even know existed. And I told him after the last episode, hey, you need to have like some sort of indicator of keyword search volume of these keywords when we put them into Scribbles. And he said, hey, you big dummy, we do. It's the color coding.
I didn't say big dummy, but
he called me a big dummy. But it's in here, and I didn't even know it until right now. So this is super, super cool.
So red is the highest search. It's the group of the highest search. Now, there's no red here because, remember, this is a kind of a niche down thing. There wasn't any really huge search volume keywords that we had here. But we've got orange, and it goes all the way down to black. So like egg tray for camping has the least amount of search volume. So for me, I'm going to, if technically speaking, theoretically speaking, I should say, these phrases should all be equally relevant. Like these are my most important phrases. So in that sense, I can go ahead and kind of prioritize this as far as search volume goes. Now up here, remember, these are individual keywords. There's color here too, but it's only based on if it's showing up down here in the phrases.
Yep.
So like the reason why baskets, ceramic trays, and camping, and some of these other ones like egg and deviled, egg is red because that shows up in almost every single keyword phrase here. So it's by frequency in the phrases, all right? So now, what is the next step? What did we say is the most important part of the listing?
It's the title.
The title, all right? Now, what did we also say about phrase form?
So the reason that we put things in a very specific phrase form is to tell Amazon that organization of those keywords into that specific phrase is very, very relevant to this product.
Now, here's the thing that's really cool about Amazon is that it can detect things in phrase form without there having to be punctuation or commas or completely separated. So what I personally like to do is I just peruse or browse these phrases and see if there's any way I can condense these keyword phrases into one. Like I could do 2 or even 3 keyword phrases in my title. If I could fit all of that in, that would be great. So let's take a look here. We've got egg holder. Oh, I already see it. Egg holder for refrigerator. Okay. Boom. Watch this, guys. I got this. Watch this. Wooden.
Now, remember, wooden is not exceptionally highly listed as far as search frequency on these phrases, but we have to be relevant, and that's the unique selling point to our product. So we're making wooden very, very important. It's not always just about which keyword is the most common or the most frequently searched. Remember, we've got to pay attention to the bottom of the pyramid keywords, the broader ones, and the top ones. But we also have to focus on the unique aspects of our product so that the title especially is very relevant to our product.
All right, so I'm gonna put here wooden egg holder for refrigerator, first of all. Now, what you see down here is as I use things in phrase form, it's putting a line through it and telling me. So I just entered in one phrase up there. And within one phrase, I was able to knock out 3 phrases. Why? Because I got wooden egg holder, I got egg holder, and I got egg holder for refrigerator. Now we might tweak this a little bit more. We're trying to get this, video done in less than an hour. Usually you might want, how long do you spend like once you're actually at this?
Oh, it's not even just one time. It's countless times over and over again, tweaking. But generally speaking, you can spend, 2 or 3 hours on your first, draft of your listing pretty easily. So the other thing we have to consider is we don't want to just keyword stuff our titles. Okay. Super, super important. And we'll talk about, actually selling. You and I have done a podcast episode about this in the past. Just because we're saying the title is the most important doesn't mean that all of the keywords have to go there and we have to stack as many in there as we can. You have seen situations where people put 1 million keywords in the title. It looks awful. And also Amazon has started to reduce the number of characters you can put in the title just for that reason. So make sure that you actually remember you're selling this product too. Even if you're placing your listing on page results really high, if you have a really crappy written title, you might not actually get those sales. So this is where we use some of the science between, the keywords and the optimization research that we've done, and a little bit of art and finesse as well.
Yeah. Another thing to keep in mind, this is a kind of Amazon hack that we had given out to our elite members. Tim's speaking at one of our elite events in a couple of days, so he's wearing the Helium 10 Elite shirt. But what is the canonical URL? What does the canonical URL mean? What does that even mean? Do you know?
I know how to use it. I don't know how to describe it.
All right. It's kind of hard to describe. Let's go into one of these listings right here. What you guys, I can't zoom in up here, but if I search egg tray, and let's just go to a random listing here. All right, so here we go. This is the canonical URL. It's made up of, your Amazon.com part, and then it's made up of the ASIN, all right? And then you've usually got 5 keywords right in here that sometimes are just randomly taken from the title, okay? Now, I said random, but there's a way that sometimes this doesn't always work. That's why it's called a hack. Hacks, you can't sustain your business, but sometimes they can be cool. But you can kind of like force Amazon to give you a canonical URL. Basically, you want to make 5 keywords and then have a dash right after it. But it's got to be 5 real words, not like the or. So I'm gonna, this might take a couple times, but like I said, we're doing this live, so I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna show you how I wanna force it. Now, why is canonical URL important? It's especially important off of Amazon, but some people even say that if you have these keywords in your canonical URL, anytime somebody goes to your listing, it actually gives you a little bit of a boost if you have tons of people going to your listing for those keywords. But watch this in Google. And again, guys, I did not test this out, so I'm just crossing my fingers here to hope this is going to be right. I'm going to search for this ASIN just in Google. Hands go. Sounds like an 80s song. Hands go. All right, anyways. All right, I'm going to type in these keywords without these dashes in Google, and let's see what comes up. All right, boom. Look what is page 1, position 1 for that keyword phrase. It is this exact product. And why? Because here, right here in the canonical URL, it's got those keywords. So the canonical URL is great for Google and Bing ranking. So whenever you can, you want to force your canonical to the keywords that are important to you so that it's not just picking random products. Because look what happens when it just picks some random ones. Like, let me just pick a random one here where I know they're all over the place. Here we go. Totally. Oh, this person is trying to do one. Yeah. Okay. Here's a perfect example. This person was trying to do one, but Amazon wasn't fully on board. So you can see Their canonical, they tried to do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, they didn't do 5. That's why it didn't come out.
Yep.
They have 6 keywords and a dash. So again, they kind of lucked out here because they have a decent canonical. Totally kitchen covered tray holder. But what's it missing right there?
Egg.
Egg. The most important part of their title is not in their canonical URL. Let's just look at one more quick example. Here is one of these Carton ones. Here, this is terrible. You see, this title is all over the place. Like Amazon algorithm is probably confused. Like they don't even have a space for this dash. Take a look at their canonical. Flax Henley 30 count premium recycled.
Nothing about an egg tray or anything.
Are they getting any kind of keyword boost on Amazon or off for
No.
this? Not at all. So guys, if possible, try and force your canonical. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to try this for wood, for refrigerator, or countertop. All right. Now, here's the thing. Tim is going to talk a little bit later about the terms of service and what things are compliant. Now, what thing here am I not doing that maybe I should be doing?
Well, technically, you should be putting the brand name in the title.
Absolutely. That's actually something that I went to an Amazon conference, an actual, by Amazon. Did you go to Amazon Boost last year?
Yep.
Oh, I was there. We didn't know each other in those. No, we did. That was the time I met you because you had that party in Bourbon Street in New Orleans. That was the first time I met Tim Jordan. But I didn't know he was so famous back then. Anyways, I digress. Now, at that conference, before we were throwing beads on Bourbon Street, Amazon had a seminar saying, hey, they want to enforce more that you put the brand name at the beginning of your title. So when we launch this, I might have changed this, but I just wanted to quickly do an experiment here that we can't show you the results because we're doing this live. But I want to try and see if I can force that canonical. But what could happen if I keep the listing this way? What might Amazon do later?
Add our brand name.
Yeah, and when they do that, they might make other changes to our title. And if they do that, sometimes you're like locked in. Like now you can't, like I could change my title here or there, but once Amazon goes in and changes it, they like short titles, super short. So they might just change the whole thing to Gee's Chicken Coop Wooden Egg Tray. Boom, end of story. But maybe if I have 150 characters, if I have 200 characters, I might want to put some other important keywords because remember, the title is the most important part. Yeah. So I'm kind of running the risk here, but I just want to, for educational purposes, I want to see if this is going to work here for that canonical URL. I'm not sure because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keywords. However, I've got 2 common words. So I'm just banking on the fact that maybe 4 and or aren't going to be listed here. So let's talk about what else we should put here on the listing. I'm going to look for what people are doing for the titles for Wooden Egg Tray. So I see this guy is pretty cool. He's putting in the number of eggs that his egg holder can have, but not everybody's doing that. Oh, here's one that does 16. Look how many non-compliant images there are here. There's our listing right there.
Our test listing.
Our test listing. I don't see too much of a theme here as far as the title. Some of these brand names are just putting in like random stuff. So let's go open it up to Egg Tray. And what are the plastic ones doing? And this is what we call like niche themes. I like to analyze this for both the images and the title because here, let me just show you guys an example. Let's look at collagen peptides. And let's see if we can see what the niche theme is here as far as title goes. Take a look at these title links. Look how long they are, all right? I mean, some of them are even cut off because they're so long. When you see a ... like right here, that's because the title's so long. Like everyone is titled. So that tells me that, hey, these are the listings that are doing the best. They must be doing something right. It looks like people kind of react well to long titles in this category. But watch this, Tim. I don't know if you've seen me do this one, but accordion. Now here, there are shorter titles. I don't even see any that has a ... There's one that has a ... here, a kid's accordion, but all the professional accordion, look at all the, if I had a professional accordion, look at this. Just as the brand name, what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, very few have any ... Like that's a book. But look at all these. So if I was going to make a professional accordion, hey, looks like what works is shorter titles.
Yep.
Now in Egg Tray, let's see if we have any kind of niche theme that we would want to follow. Now, this is not to say you want to be cookie cutter.
No.
Because what's one important thing of when you show up in the search results? It's the D word. You want to be
Different.
Different.
Yep.
All right. And so like, what is your kind of like rule of thumb where you don't want to completely rock the boat where you're going to have some kind of listing that's just like, ugh, to people. But at the same time, you don't look like a cookie cutter.
Yeah. And what I'm noticing here is they're not super short, but very few of them are super long. So these are like your medium, 10, 12, 15 words. So we definitely want to stick within that realm.
Take a look here. I already noticed something. That's a size. What do you notice here? What am I circling?
Yeah, how many eggs it holds.
All right, so the top performing egg trays overall are telling people how many eggs it holds. So we should probably do the same thing. How many does ours hold?
18.
18. So how do people put it here? 12 egg tray. That doesn't even make any sense. So I'm going to do something better than that. Let's see what else.
I like stores 18 or stores 14.
Ooh, stores 14 eggs. Yep. 14 egg tray. I see. I might not want to put 14 egg tray like this because that means in the same field, I'm duplicating a keyword phrase, which Amazon sometimes doesn't like. Like these people are doing it, but that's a sponsored ad. Are they even coming up here? They might be. Nope, that's a different one. Some are doing it, but I don't want to do that. So what are some other ways? 24. Okay, here's what we do. We're going to look at one of our other top keyword phrases. Maybe I can get 4 keyword phrases. So is there something else? Egg
and
holder.
Just notice that because we have these orange color, we know that egg container for refrigerator and deviled egg tray have high search volume, but they're not quite as relevant because this isn't very specifically a deviled egg tray, or this isn't specifically for refrigerator. Then we have to be very specific with our title to get that differentiator in that page 1 result, people actually click on it. And our differentiator is it's rustic or wood or things like that. So we're kind of holding back from just piling in these top keywords and making it actually relevant, make sense, and making a differentiator.
So what I like to say is we're trying to keyword stuff without keyword stuffing, right? Because again, we asked you guys at the beginning, what do you like about, what's the most important to you about when you're, looking at listings? Well, what we could have asked is what don't you like about listings? And as a buyer, I hate to see keyword stuffing. I'm not an idiot. You guys aren't idiots. You know when somebody's just like keyword stuffing, it's like, okay, come on, guys, what kind of title is that? Or especially if you use like non-grammatical English. I just said something that probably wasn't even grammatically correct, which is how ironic is that? But anyways, you guys don't want to do that because the typical buyer doesn't like to see that stuff. So got to make sure it's relevant here. So I thought I had put egg tray up here, but I put egg holder, so that's good. I put 18. I can put 18 egg tray. But what's a transition? I still have right here 63. I've only used 63 bytes.
I'd even change this up and say, like this rustic egg tray holds 18.
Love it.
And we're just throwing in words that are salesy and talk specifically about this product. So that's why we're using rustic, even though it isn't like one of those super highly ranked keywords, right? So we've got egg tray and we've got eggs, which are all, technically duplicated, but egg and eggs are not a duplication, right?
Sure.
So we're marking off these keywords and making it sound salesy.
Is there any other words that I can throw in here? I'm stretching it. Probably not. Egg storage, possibly. Deviled egg trays, ceramic. No.
And if we don't have anything that makes a lot of sense, we can kind of move along from the keywords and just put some pure salesmanship in the title right here. We can say something like...
Oh, what were those things that were important that we saw in the reviews?
Gift.
Gifts.
Remember the words gift? So we can say...
to clean.
Yeah, we can say this easy to clean, beautiful was a keyword. This easy to clean, beautiful, rustic egg tray holds... So this easy to clean rustic egg tray holds 18 eggs. Then we could say something like makes a perfect gift item or I'm gonna
gotta be careful to make sure perfect isn't a forbidden keyword. We could talk about that later.
Yeah.
Could be, but
so we can say great.
They're not good. They're great.
And I'm stretching a little bit here by calling this a kitchen accessory, which eventually we could rate for. Mm-hmm. We haven't even talked about that, but that's even broader than... oh, wait. I know what to do. Great gift as a chicken coop. No, great gift for chicken coop owners.
Okay.
Ooh, because remember the word coop? Chicken coop was a big theme, even though it's not in our keyword list. And remember that we're just getting salesy here, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in there, but we do have a word gift.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at some of the listings now. Let's open it up and take a look if we see anything about a niche theme like in some of these listings. Like I would highly assume that the wooden ones will have all garbage listings because those guys do not look like grade A sellers.
Yep.
So what were some of those ones that we had pulled up? All right, I'm gonna actually take a look at them. Here's one cool thing about Helium 10 is I can go into my history and see what I searched for. All right, so let me go into my history and pull up those ASINs because I forgot which ones we had done. Here we go. Let's open it up. All right, so there was our product. Here was one of them. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize I can just click on that and it comes up here. Okay. Groove design. Each egg is placed separately. What? How does that tell me anything? Prevent shaking. Huh? Effectively prevent the egg from colliding and breaking. I don't think I've ever heard of eggs colliding as a word. Easily attachable to any refrigerator shelf. Like these aren't great ones. These are not great bullet points. Dust proof, moisture proof,
easy to take.
Easy to take. It says easy to take.
Look,
where?
Dust proof, moisture proof, easy to take.
Okay, guys, don't be that seller. All right. Let's look at their description. Oh, whoa! Look at this amazing description here. That's all of like 15 words. 24 grid drawer type egg storage box egg crisper kitchen egg tray refrigerator storage container. Don't be this guy. Don't be this seller, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. This is what we're competing with. I'm feeling good. Let's take a look at the skeleton. A little bit better. Yep. Safe and stylish rack for eggs. Compact design. Tells you what it's used for. Keeps all eggs in sight. Remember, that was important to some people. Perfect storage, large capacity, well constructed. That's a little bit better, all right? Still, I think they can, okay, here's something to remember. Here on a desktop computer, what are the first texts that I see after the title?
Bullet points.
Bullet points. Now, if I'm on my mobile app for Amazon, what's the first thing?
Description.
The description. So I would actually scroll down here. This first title right here, or this first couple sentences, are what's going to show up first. So that's where I like to make that emotional connection. So I'm not even going to think about keywords for that first bullet point. I really want to hit those points that we had brought up, which actually we kind of got a head start because we were able to get those in the title. But this is the first bullet point in the first line of description is where we really want to hit that desire, that want, that need, that fear. So Tim, let's think about this for a second. These people are kind of doing that by saying safe and safe. Like what, is it unsafe? You know, you might poke your eye out with this. I don't understand what safe means, but stylish rack for eggs, that's kind of, you know, I want something stylish for my kitchen. It's speaking to my emotions, right? Let's look at one more and then let's just try and figure out maybe if we can have some ideas. Actually, I want to see that stone one too that we saw last week. The Le Creusot. All right, so here we are, Kook deviled eggs made of fine white ceramic material. So that could be an angle we take because what's ours made out of?
It's wood.
But a special, like there's a...
Yeah, it's acacia.
Acacia wood. Like, who knows, that might reach to somebody's emotions. This is something that's interesting because this could be something that's important. We did say easy to clean, right? So I would think that's dishwasher friendly. Absolutely is it safe for the freezer? Is ours safe for the freezer? It's wood.
It's
Should be
wood,
safe.
yeah.
Wood, refrigerator. So these are not keywords, but this could be what like the next thing. Like if somebody types egg tray, maybe we got to be thinking what's the next thing they're going to check for. You know, when I search for something on Amazon, is like maybe I search for small notebook, but I want to know, does it have this, or what do you call this?
Bookmark.
Bookmark. Does it have a bookmark? So if that first bullet point says perfect bookmark, so you could mark your book or whatever, I'm simple. That might speak to me, right? So we got to try and think about what is the next thing that might be important. They know it's an egg tray. So already they clicked on our listing. We've got them a little bit and we want to keep them on our page, keep them interested. So what can we do in that first bullet point? We can see some examples here. I don't really see anything that's that great. So that already gives me a good feeling that these are the top performers on page 1 of some major keywords, and they're not even speaking to the emotions. I see a lot of keyword stuff in here. We're going to be better, but we got to make sure we're better. So Tim Jordan, what would you put for this emotional connection? I'm putting you on the spot again.
Well, remember the keywords, or actually the reason that people are buying ours is because of the look. You know, it's not the functionality, because any of these things hold a tray or hold an egg, because any of these things hold an egg. So we're looking for a beautiful rustic version. So we need to obviously put some keywords in here also, but we need to speak to the emotion of the beauty of this, the style, the rustic, the those things. So we could make something, you know, we could pick out a couple keywords, like, let me look. So egg storage is a good one, because the emotion isn't really going to be for the refrigerator. It's not going to be for a basket. It's technically not a skelter. So we could do something like,
So Tim, are you the kind who does not do the whole, hey, let's bold, or not bold, let's uppercase the first things to catch attention? Like nobody seems to be doing that in egg trays.
yeah, so. And listen, let's say this. There are so many ways to optimize a listing, and there are so many different pieces of psychology that tell you how to do this. We've got good friends that are very good copywriters that would probably be very angry when they see this episode because we're not copywriters. But again, we're just showing you that if you pick the right product, you can sell it. All right. So those of you that are copywriters, please don't blast us on our AMA for our terrible copywriting skills here, because that's not what we do. But most people that are selling on Amazon aren't. Okay. So that's like, I'm pre-defending ourselves. I'm trying to make sure that everybody knows that the purpose of this is not to show you how to write the most beautiful listing. It's to show you how to use keywords with a little salesmanship. And once you've picked the right product, it will sell, right? If we were going to be selling this thing for the next 10 years, we would probably hire a professional copywriter to come in and polish all this up for us. But we're just showing you that you can easily sell products with the right selection, and you don't have to be an excellent copywriter to be like a good Amazon seller. So we could say this beautiful egg tray. Let me see. Is great for egg storage or presenting deviled eggs.
Or how about, or as a deviled egg platter. So we can hit that keyword.
And remember, I'm just going to spice it up a little bit. I know we've used that word before. That's not a keyword. That's just to add a little salesmanship to it. It's rustic and beautiful deviled egg platter. Boom.
Boom. All right. That's a pretty short one, though.
It is short.
But it could be, and you know what? It could be, we haven't gone in there because we haven't made our listing yet. But it could be that this category has bullet points that are less than 100 or something like that.
Well, we
that's
noticed.
why,
Yeah, we've already
that's why
noticed
those other ones. So
yeah.
Let's start with that now. But if once we do make the listing, if we see that, hey, we have up to 200, well, maybe we can go ahead and expand it out. But we don't want to go over because Amazon might suppress the listing, or we're not going to get indexed. But regardless of what the limit is, like some bullet points, they say you have up to 500. So you can't do 5 bullet points of 500 characters though, because Amazon only indexes the first 1,000 characters of the bullet points. So we're well under that by keeping that one to 100. but by the time we launch our product, we might have a little bit more robust listing. But let's start with that.
So one thing that we've talked about is we have to keep time short, and some of this stuff just takes a while. I know a lot of people that sell on Amazon that get so frustrated by trying to write the listing. So understand that it's not like super easy for us either. You know, it takes some time. We're beating our head against the table sometimes and trying to figure out how to write this out. And this process can take up to a few hours. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and write this thing out a little bit, over a little bit of time. And then we'll come back and talk about these other aspects of this episode. Does that work?
That works for me. So just what are we going to do off screen? We're going to continue writing the bullet points right here. We're going to write the description. That's at the bottom. The search terms is the back end search terms. All right. That's where I'm going to put some of those misspellings, those Spanish words. It just doesn't make sense to put
basically
Spanish
the things that are left over from this list here for words and phrases that we weren't able to slip into the actual listing itself. We'll stick those in the search term back end.
Absolutely. Subject matter is something that I'm not sure is in this category. It's not in every category, but if it is in this category, that actually is the second most important part. The subject matter and the search terms next to the title. Like most people think it's the bullet points. No, it's not. It's actually the subject matter and search terms have really strong power for that Amazon algorithm. So I'm gonna probably duplicate some of those main keywords like egg holder and egg tray. Even though I have it in the title, I might put it back there. And that's actually from Amazon. I had a friend who has an Amazon account, and he had a keyword that he thought was pretty important in his title. And he wasn't even ranking in the top 306, okay? So he made a message to Seller Central. It's like, Amazon, what's going on? This isn't my title. I know that's important, but I don't even show up in the results, but I know I'm indexed for it. And they asked him, did you also put it in your search terms? And he's like, no. They're like, go ahead and try that. So even though it wasn't his title, he put it in his search terms. He did not just go to page 1, position 1 or something. But guess what? He went from unranked to like position 230 or something. Is he going to get sales from that keyword? No. But what does that tell you?
It tells you the subject matter matters. And you don't have to duplicate things between, multiple places in the front end. So you're not going to get extra power from having egg tray in the title and in the bullet points. But if it's in the bullet points, you still probably also want it in the subject matter if your category of product allows for that.
Absolutely. So guys, make sure that you don't keyword stuff and don't put the same phrase in a field, but you can duplicate it in different fields if you think that it's going to help with your ranking eventually. So we're going to do that off camera. Now, Tim, you've talked a little bit about terms of service. Let's talk just, for 2 minutes here, some more do's and don'ts that maybe we didn't mention.
Yeah, in terms of service, right now we're going to specifically talk about keywords, right? And again, click on the show notes. We've got links to that section in Amazon's terms of service policy about compliance with keywords. One of the main ones that I see people making the mistake of doing is using other competitors' brand names. You cannot do that. We see that all the time. In fact, Amazon's gotten pretty good where they won't even let you put those brand names in if you recognize them. But if you're in one of these niches like egg trays, they might not recognize your competitor. But if you do it, you can definitely get in some pretty big trouble. They can shut down your listings. It can affect your seller health. That I think is definitely one of the most common. And if you're selling something super common like soccer balls, definitely don't put Nike and, Adidas and brand names like that in your listing. What's another one?
We talked about white background images, but also there's forbidden keywords. All right. Like you can't put Amazon's choice.
Yep.
Or award winner. Sometimes that might be, something that might get you suppressed your listing, or drug related words that maybe, there's a words that have to do with drugs, but it also has a PG meaning. But be careful. Sometimes they're like, why can't I have a weed whacker, and why can't I, rank for weeds, because maybe, who knows, maybe Amazon's algorithm is considering that's an extreme example, but you guys know what I mean. Profanity, guys, don't put profanity in there. What else is against the rules for listings?
A whole lot of characters. Like you can't just put tons and tons of exclamation points and stuff like that. You can't use emojis. Right? Like
Sometimes you can.
Sometimes you can.
Sometimes you can. Not in the titles.
Not in the titles.
100% do not put emojis in the titles. I wouldn't put emojis anywhere in these categories that we were. Maybe the coffin show. We could test it out because
The ghost emoji would be great.
Yeah, like a ghost emoji or a pumpkin emoji or some kind of gothic themed emoji, because that typical customer might be, late teens, early 20s, might reflect well, but
you can definitely look at that link for the terms of service and find out when that is not appropriate. Generally speaking, if you make a mistake, Amazon's not going to immediately suspend you unless it's like a real grievous thing like selling counterfeit or something like that. But if your picture isn't right or your title isn't right, generally they'll just maybe stop your listing and they'll tell you, hey, there's a problem, you need to fix it. So don't be just like super scared, because everybody makes mistakes. And to be honest, there's so many terms of service issues out there that I'm not even aware of, and it changes all the time. So don't let us freak you out. Just make sure that you're being aware that there are some rules and regulations that we have to operate within.
So what we're going to do is we are going to get those images done. I'm going to set up this listing in Amazon. And again, we're not going into the deep details here of how to set up your listing actually in Amazon and Seller Central. If you guys want to take a look at that, make sure to check out Freedom Ticket, the Freedom Ticket course. We'll link to it down below. You'll be able to have a detailed Seller Central overview of how to set up the listing. But we're going to do that off screen. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm probably, until our shipment arrives and we were ready to ship it to Amazon, I'm going to keep those images out of the listing. And we talked about that before. Why am I doing that?
To keep the listing suppressed.
Keep the listing suppressed, because there's something that, as of the time of this video, people call the honeymoon period, the honeymoon era, in Amazon listings, where it's like this 30 to 60 day, or some people have it less or more, where anything you do promotionally, like, just gives you more of a boost from Amazon. They're kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe you do a promotion, you're going heavy on PPC or something for egg tray, but then all these other long tail keywords that have egg tray or that are similar, or even egg holder, all of a sudden those will get big boosts, because Amazon's like, wow, look at this brand new product is getting such traction with this keyword. Maybe they're going to get traction with these other keywords. So we're going to do that. For old products, they don't give you that love.
And the reason that happens is Amazon wants you to succeed. Amazon wants you to sell products because they make money, we make money, everybody wins. So if I've got the best selling egg tray up here and it's selling a lot of products, and then there's the worst selling egg tray, if we launch a product as an egg tray, Amazon's going to start us about in the middle, right? They're going to give us a little bit of, like you said, benefit of the doubt. What we don't want to do is have this listing too live and indexed and stuff like that before we get inventory, because Amazon will say, oh, look, this thing's not selling. So I see people that do crazy stuff like set up merchant fulfilled listings with 2-week delivery times and say, oh, my products will be here in 18 days. I'll go ahead and start selling it now. Well, the problem is, with a merchant fulfilled listing, you're not going to sell very well. So you're going to start losing that honeymoon period. Another thing to be thinking about with the honeymoon period is, and you've seen it on this episode, or maybe it was the episode before, I can't even remember now, but remember when our egg tray was showing up, because we had our test listing still, we didn't have PPC running, we've turned that off, but the inventory's still in there. A lot of people say, well, I've already got this product and maybe I had a review or I had 2 reviews. I'm just going to take this same listing. Do not do that. Because remember, we intentionally created our test listing to not sell. Our conversion rate was not good. Our price was too high. We're already dipping down from our starting point and ranking and validity and things like that. So we've already taken a big nosedive. We don't want to try to drive that up. So we're just going to completely delete that listing, delete that ASIN, create a brand new one for this. And like Bradley said, we're going to keep some pictures out of it to keep it suppressed. Without inventory, it shouldn't go live, but we have seen where Amazon does some weird things if the product listing is completely finished without inventory. They will start actually looking at that listing. So we want to keep that suppressed by not having images. We'll put those in at the last second once we've shipped in Amazon inventory.
All right, now we're going to take a little break and take you on a trip with, not us, but me. Tim's got to go back home, but in a couple of days, I'm going to go to our 3PL nearby Torrance, California, and we're going to actually unbox a couple of the pieces of our new shipment from both the coffin box and the egg trays, and we're going to get that on the way to Amazon. All right, so we are now heading on our first Project X road trip. We're going from Irvine to Torrance, California, to our 3PL that we're using. The coffin shelves have already arrived, and they're waiting for us to inspect. This will be my first time seeing the production model. And what I'm going to try and do today is get the FNSKU stickers. The FNSKU stickers is what Amazon needs in order to identify it once it gets to the warehouse. So we could pay Amazon 20 or 25 cents per unit to sticker it once it gets there. But I found it's much better to do it myself or to have our 3PL do it, so that it saves us money. And in addition, sometimes if you send stuff that has no stickers at all, it's easier to get lost in Amazon. So we're gonna try and get those FNSKU stickers printed, pasted onto each package, and then get the actual shipments ready via UPS to send from here. We're gonna interview Sean a little bit. Sean is the owner of Creasive, this 3PL that we're going to talk about kind of like what they do and why it's important to have a 3PL, why you might wanna do it. As Tim mentioned in the episode, it's not necessary. Like, you could have the product shipped directly to Amazon from your factory in China or from wherever. But the drawback sometimes is if you've got a big MOQ and you don't think you're gonna sell the product right away, well, you're gonna get hit with storage fees, especially in fourth quarter, that you wanna avoid. But when you have your inventory at a 3PL, it allows you to kind of like drip the inventory to Amazon to make sure that you don't ever get those storage fees. So we're gonna talk to Sean about that. Side note, this company is the company I used to co-own back in the day, and the company that I ran like probably 300 out of the 400 product launches that I did in my consultant days was for this company. They're big in the Korean beauty space. They handle a lot of big Korean companies, and I help launch. We're probably going to see a lot of the products I launched there at the warehouse today, so it'll be kind of like a trip down memory lane. All right, so we made it. We're here at Creasive. Now guys, I am not in Seoul, Korea, but you might think that's the case when you walk in here because most of the employees here are Korean. I've worked for Korean companies like for 15 years. They did a lot of like K-beauty brands and stuff. Hey Sean, what's up?
Hey,
how's it going?
Hey.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
All right, so can you take us for a quick tour of the warehouse? I want to see what's up back here. Cool. So then the warehouse mainly is twofold. It's number one, for the storage of the products for people getting ready to send it to FBA. You're storing the products, and then as they need to replenish FBA, you send it. And then the advantage of that, right, is because now you don't have to pay, you probably don't have to pay many storage fees in Amazon because you're able to keep it here until, okay. And then the other one is to ship like merchant fulfilled orders.
Yeah, one big chunk of our business and our operation is about supply chain management, because a lot of our clients are located overseas and doesn't understand about the Amazon business well. But maintaining FBA inventory is one of the key to make successful sales. So our team monitor like production time, like international transit time and FBA transit time too. Also nowadays we need to consider about the like warehouse storage fee and monthly storage fee. So we with the calculation through the system, we send out only like reasonable inventory from our warehouse.
Okay.
To save our clients costs.
Yeah. Okay. So what's going on over here now?
So to ship out the goods to the Amazon warehouse, they have certain requirements to receive the goods. So box labeling and individual product labeling, and also certain product like those, it's easily breakable. Then we do the bubble wrap and put the do the protection. Okay. And put the FBA label, all that.
So Amazon could do all this, but actually it's cheaper to do it here because Amazon per unit, they're like it's just 20 cents for one sticker and then like $1 for packaging. So it's much better to do it here, right?
Yes,
okay.
True.
Oh, not that heavy. Okay, so here we go. Manny's Mysterious Oddities, Curating the Curious, coffin shelf. So then like this, you would, even though we have a UPC, you still need to put that Amazon FNSKU on here, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look. The first time we're seeing the production level. Oh, they already have the bubble wrap, so that helps. We don't have to do that here.
That's good.
There it is. It's got the hanger. Doesn't look damaged in shipping. I mean, the boxes seem in pretty good shape. Sometimes if you ship LTL, I know they can get a little bit more banged up, but all right, the quality looks pretty good. Cool. So basically all you're gonna need from me is the FNSKU so we can get the stickers printed, and then they'll sticker it, and then What do you sometimes actually get a container or an LTL to ship to Amazon, or do you always use UPS or FedEx?
We use UPS, FedEx, but when we ship out like 10 pallets or 5 pallets, then we use trucking. Yeah, nowadays Amazon have their own trucking system too, so we use trucking. And also, when like big container of like 40 feet high queue is coming from China or Korea, then we make them go directly to our Amazon warehouse, or UK, Europe Amazon warehouse too.
Also, you have an operation like this also for the UK that handles the Europe?
We have London office.
London office,
Yeah,
okay.
London office, and
At this point, I think basically I just need to get on to the listing, give them the FNSQ. Like, so what do you need from me in order to print the label? Like, do you actually need a PDF of the label, or you just need the FNSQ number and you make your own barcode?
both.
Both, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we got them all labeled. And so now it's pretty much ready to go to Amazon. We're just reboxing it right here, and then we're gonna stick the UPS label on it, and then boom, UPS is gonna come pick it up, and within 1 or 2 days, it's gonna be right there in Amazon's warehouse. All right, Sean, thank you very much for getting this set up. Now, if other people wanna like find out more about your services or perhaps use you, how can they find more information about Creasive?
Yeah, so anyone who need our service, you can go to our website, creasive.com, KREASSIVE.com, and send email, and there's our phone number too. Then our account manager will contact you guys.
Okay. So guys, we'll have that link in the show notes as well. So make sure to check them out. You guys can see how fast they work here. It's a real great service. So whatever 3PL service that you use, or if you're managing things yourself, it's so important to make sure that you're tracking everything, because things can get out of hand, especially if you're dealing with a warehouse that has a lot of customers. So Sean, you guys actually develop your own system here. So then like you have our coffin shelves will be like a purchase order that you receive, and right now in your system it'll show that it's here in Torrance, but then once we actually ship it to Amazon, it'll show that it's on the way to Amazon, so we can keep track how much is left here and then how much is in Amazon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right, that should be good. We should be good to go. Yeah, we're definitely not going to ship everything at once. We want to save some here because we don't want to get any storage fees in Amazon. So it's kind of cool that we'll be able to check how many is left here, and then we can also track what's going on.
Yes.
All right, cool. I think that's about all we need to do here. So thank you very much for helping us out with this project. And if any of our inventory gets lost, we're going to come and ask you what's going on now. All right, guys, so we just finished up here at Creasive. This completes episode 10 of Project X. So if you guys remember want a written review of this episode, make sure to go to helium10.com/X10, helium10.com/X10. Now, what did we go over in this episode? We finished the listing optimization. We got the listings all set up, and then we actually had our inventory shipped to a 3PL. We talked a little bit about when you might want to use a 3PL and showed you, if you do use it, what kind of processes are happening here on location. And now we've got our inventory labeled and ready to go to Amazon. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Project X episode 10. We'll see you guys in episode 11.